Hey guys, so in today's video we'll be talking about usability heuristics. So usability heuristics are a set of general guidelines or rules of thumbs that designers can use to improve their design to make it more user friendly. So the design can be a website or an app. So let's explore them in details. So the first usability heuristics is the visibility of system status or what's going on. So it simply states keep users informed about what's happening through appropriate feedback within a reasonable time. So for example, if a system in an e-commerce site, for example, so if there are few items left, the system should be able to communicate to the user the amount of product left, not when the user has purchased the product. Then the user will now find out that the product that they purchased is not available. So another scenario is when you are downloading a file. The system should be able to give you status of your the file being downloaded, the percentage that it is. You can see what's happening here. You can see here the system is showing the user status, showing that is downloading, so the user can know the remaining time left and also the state when the file is being downloaded. So in as much as you are trying to design, try to make your system interactive to communicate with the user. So that's simply what this is talking about. Try to let the user know what's going on in this in the system or in the application. Users should not click a button and expect a desired result and the system is behaving adamant or behaving static. Users will not want to use that kind of product. A system should be able to communicate with the user, just like we human beings who can communicate with each other and understand ourselves. That's how a system or a digital product should be able to communicate to the user, give the user feedback on what's happening, where they are, all those kind of things. So that's it about visibility of system status. So the next one is match between system and real world, or what are you talking about. So let me say, for example, you can see here this is a folder. In most times in our system we have something called folder. Those things also mimic the real how folders are in real life. You can see an example of what I mean here. Even the real world recycle bin matches the recycle bin that is our system. So why this is being done is so that people can actually understand what the system is talking about. So whenever you are giving any label or any name to any of your components or any of your pages or any of your section, or whether you are coming up with a copy for your website, try to make it come up with a copy that the user can actually understand. Don't just come up with ambiguous words that when they read they cannot understand. So it simply says that the system should speak the user's language, words, phrases, and concepts familiar to the user rather than system-oriented terms. So because you're designing a digital product or you're designing a system, don't start using ambiguous words. Use icons that the user can relate with. If you are designing an app that has to do with aeroplane, for a user to book aeroplane seats, use icons that the user can relate with. When a user sees an aeroplane icon, they already know what that is talking about, that it means flight. So make sure you use all these, pay attention to all these little details because it can actually make your system interactive. So the next one is user control and freedom, or OOPS. Allow users to easily navigate and exit situations such as providing cancelling or go back option during a multiple step process. So this simply means when a user do something, always give the user access for them to undo what they have done. That's why we have the undo on any system you're using. What I mean is Control Z, where you go back to the previous work you are doing, because most times a user might be carrying out a desired action and they want to go back to the default one they were doing before, which that they have realized that the first option that they selected was actually the correct one. The system should be able to allow the user to go back to their first choice. So no user will want to use an application where they will feel that the system is manipulating them or the system is choosing for them. Give the user freedom for them to like navigate, for them to come back to the first phase of their work they were doing before. So just allow the user to be free, because when you allow a user to be free when using your digital product, it will even make the application to be more addictive to the user. The user will not want to leave the platform. The user will even recommend the platform to other of their friends, because this app is easy to use. They feel that they are in charge. Even if they make mistake, they still feel they can control the system. So sometimes just give them freedom. So the next one is consistencies and standards. So this simply means make use of design system so that a user can actually know what the app is all about. For example, when we see Facebook blue, we already know it's Facebook. So whenever you are designing, make sure you stick to a particular design system. It can be colors, it can be buttons, it can be a particular theme. Make sure you stick to it. Even whenever you are coming up with colors that has to do with the application branding, make sure you pay attention to all those things, because it can make the application to be familiar to the user, so the user can actually know the application wherever they see it. So the next one is error prevention. I'm glad I didn't do that. So implement safeguards to prevent errors, such as confirmation dialog before critical actions like deleting data. So whenever a user, what this simply means is that whenever a user wants to delete a particular thing, don't just allow the user to delete it at once. Ask the user, are you sure you want to delete this? You can, if you have used different system, you realize that whenever you want to delete something, the system confirms from you whether you want to actually delete this, so that you will not mistakenly delete it and regret. Even when it's being deleted, there's something called a trash or a recycle bin where you can go back there to recycle what you have already deleted. So that's the purpose of all this recycle bin and stuff in our system. So it's until you go to the recycle bin and you say permanently delete, that's when the stuffs will be deleted. So it's because of this particular usability heuristics, this one, error prevention, that's why the system are being designed like that, so that the user can actually be guided for them not to make a mistake that they will regret. So another one is flexibility and effective of use. Cater to both novice and experts. Offer shortcuts and advanced feature for experienced user while keeping basic function simple for beginners. So whenever you are designing any system, bear in mind that you are also designing for people that will be using the application for the first time. So don't just make the application complex, make it very easy that the basic tools or the basic functionality will be visible to the people that are just using the application for the first time. People that are already used to using your system, they already know their way around the system, so using the system will not be difficult for them. But you also need to pay attention to the people that will be coming that are novice, first time users. So make sure you design it so that it can also cater for them too, so that they can use the application at ease. So the next one is aesthetics and minimalist design. Strive for a clean and minimal design with only essential elements to reduce cognitive load and visual clusters. So despite the fact you want to be innovative, try and make sure that your designs are simple, and also try as much as you can to wow your users anytime you are designing. Despite the fact it's simple and minimal, make sure you don't like cluster your distance to avoid all this cognitive load. Like a user will come to your website, they don't know where to move from point A to point B. Always keep it simple, despite the fact you want your website or your application to be beautiful. So the next one is help users recognize, diagnose and recover from error, or wait, what was that? So clear communication error message that their causes, and provide clearly communicates error messages that causes and provide guidance on how to recover from them. So for example, when a user enters a wrong data into an input address, try to send in an error message, or let the system respond with an error message that will allow the user to know the exact input field or the exact data they should enter. So not just tell the user, oh, you made a mistake here, and the user does not know how to correct that mistake. So if, for example, you want a user to enter their password in a particular way, try to write a statement that will help the user to know how they can enter their password, the characters that they can use for them to know whether it's a strong password or weak password. So try to communicate to the user. Don't just tell the user, oh, your username is wrong. Try to let the user know what's happening so that they can know how to tackle that mistake that they made. So the next one is help and documentation. So there is no application that has ever been created that does not have documentation. Documentation helps users to know how to use the system. Figma has documentation. Different application you have ever used, they have documentation, so that people can always go back to the documentation to know how to use the system. So guys, so that will be all for today's video. So if this is your first time coming across my video, my name is Gloria Leonard. I'm a UiUx designer based in Lagos, Nigeria. So I post video every week on everything UiUx design. So if this is something you want to improve yourself on, if you're a beginner, you want to improve your skill set on UiUx, don't forget to smash that notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I upload new video, guys. So guys, support me by subscribing. So this is the only way you can support me, and also like this video. Thank you so much guys for watching.